Welcome to Love Life LOL by Liah. This is Liah and I hope you're having an awesome day. If in case you're new to this channel, just a quick intro about what L3 stands for. We stand for unrevealing, unhiding, call it whatever you want, the raw, the unspoken side of life as it happens, if I may say. We stand for and we talk about the ugly, the beautiful truth of what we call as reality. But trust me, that's not it, you guys. We also talk about the fun, the quirky, the crazy stuff. And if you relate to any of these things, if you are as weird as I am, stick around and you're gonna love this journey. Hey everybody, today we're gonna talk about emotional intelligence, a term that became popular decades ago. But the concept that we have the ability to understand and manage emotional behavior is centuries old. And today I'm going to talk about ways we can improve our emotional intelligence. But first things first, what do we even mean when we say emotional intelligence? A very simple definition I like to use is emotional intelligence is making emotions work for you instead of against you. We all have heard this definition, by the way. Let's say, for instance, your temper makes you say or do things you regret. We all have been there, right? Or maybe you start overspending or you agree to do too much in a moment of happiness. See, emotional intelligence isn't about ignoring these feelings or setting them aside. Rather, it's about finding balance so you can have a better control of yourself and better relationships with others. With that in mind, let's get started with our list of 9 simple rules that can help make emotions work for you instead of, well, we all know, against you. Rule number 1, the rule of setting boundaries. The first step in building emotional intelligence is to, cultivate self-awareness. That is the knowledge and understanding of your own emotional behavior. In simpler words, your thought process. This is really important, and if you have heard any of my previous podcasts, you know how much I stress on setting the boundaries right and being self-aware. Once you acknowledge your feelings and emotions and work to understand them, you can start setting boundaries to protect yourself. Well, let's take an example here. Let's say you are a kind person who wants to help people in need, but then you're trying to help too many people at the same time. You may be putting yourself on a path to burnout, which will leave you unable to help anyone, including yourself. Everyone has a different emotional makeup and different emotional needs. But learning to identify yours may be the first step to protecting your own mental and physical health. Moving on to rule number 2, the do-over rule. Ever do something really dumb? I have. And within minutes or even seconds, you wish to take it back. You should try the do-over rule, my friend. Instead of allowing yourself to get swallowed up in self-pity or trying to justify why you did what you did, take a few moments to think about how you wish you handled the situation, then go back and ask the person for a do-over. A second chance if you might. You'd be amazed how well this works. It's almost like having your own personal time machine that gives you the power to go back, make things right, and save your most cherished relationships. Rule number 3, no laptops, no cell phones. Late MIT professor Patrick Winston knew how to captivate an audience, and he was one of the school's most beloved teachers. He also had a non-negotiable rule in his classroom: no laptops, no cell phones. And that is because listening and collaboration requires complete attention. And if someone is having a conversation with you, it means they consider you important enough for their time and attention. That's why considering a no phone rule for specific times or places is not such a bad idea. You'd be surprised at the positive benefits these actions reap and the depth and quality it adds to your relationship, personal and professional both. Rule number 4, the rule of resilience. Resilience is another word for toughness. It's something that can help you deal with challenging events or to face pressure more effectively. All of it while preserving your mental health. The rule of resilience is all about learning how to deal with emotions that rise when you fail repeatedly or when you face pressure or difficult situation for that matter. So what do you do when you find yourself in such a place? You follow 3 easy peasy steps. You take a break from whatever you're doing to clear your head and get a breath of fresh air. You acknowledge your feelings and get in sync with whatever you're feeling. You focus on what you can control. When you feel things are spinning out of hand, walk away from the picture and look at it from afar. Analyze what you can control and what you can't. Because focusing on one thing at a time and seeing what is in your control helps plan the whole project. The rule of resilience will help you become like a tough but then a flexible spring. You'll be able to easily withstand pressure and return to your original form as well. Rule number 5. The rule of strength and weakness. We all have strengths and weaknesses. And what happens if you exaggerate your strengths or carry it too far is that it becomes a weakness. For example, let's say someone who is extremely productive may get a lot done, but at the same time also push others away. Or a person who is very empathetic may bond well with others, but also tend to avoid conflict. You see where I'm going with this, right? The law of strength and weakness encourages you to, again, be self-aware, keep a check of your strengths and your weaknesses. Number 2, apply the do-over rule, the one we discussed earlier. Yeah, that one. And make sure you continuously learn from your mistakes. That brings us to rule number 6, the rule of recognition. The rule of recognition is pretty simple. Your default setting is to focus on what a person does right and make a point to commend the person for those positive actions sincerely and specifically. Doing so encourages the person to continue positive behavior, builds trust and psychological safety, and even makes it easier for the person to receive constructive criticism because they'll see you as someone who's looking out for them, someone who's helpful, not harmful. Rule number 7, the rule of acquired taste. Now, psychologists have discovered that we acquire many of our tastes, likes, and habits in the same way we acquire taste for specific type of food, gradually and many times without even realizing it. To put it simply, the more you see it, the more you like it. Knowing this can help you build better habits, a better business, and a better life. The only thing you need to do is to be open to learning, knowing, and experiencing different things. That brings us to rule number 8, the simple rule of decision making. If you've been ever forced to make a difficult decision in life, you might have discovered the truth of this small piece of wisdom. Never make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. This simple rule of decision making can be applied by never making a decision 1 at night, 2 after a bad day, 3 when you're tired or hungry, 4 right after a vacation, and 5 before giving yourself time to think. And that brings us to the last and the final rule, that is rule number 9, the rule of changing your glasses. Yep, I'm talking about the prescription glasses, you guys. People who wear glasses, like myself, know that a change in prescription is sometimes required to allow them to see correctly. Sometimes we need to do the same thing mentally. Your thoughts, your emotions may cloud your vision and judgment. When that's the case, you need to change your glasses. And by that, I mean change your perspective. This technique is rooted in principles of cognitive psychology, and you can apply it by writing down your thoughts, talking to someone you trust, or filling your mind with positive thoughts. By changing your glasses, you can learn to remain balanced and optimistic, creating healthy emotional consequences. At the end, I just want to say that it all boils down to being self-aware, discovering and knowing yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. That's all for today, guys. If you like this episode, please drop in a like and share with your friends. If you're new to my channel, please do subscribe to Love Life Lol by Liah and be a part of our amazing L3 community. You can find us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and the list goes on and on and on. If you got something you want me to talk about or you want to be a part of the show, you can drop me a message on Instagram. My Instagram handle is given in the description, so yeah, do check it out. And thank you for listening in. I'll see you next week, same day, same time. Till then, this is Liah signing off.